first practice in the books. I know I passed you in the field house about a month ago, and I asked you about it because you were signing autographs on media day, and I was asking you about the number change. Like, I got to get used to that. Everybody else has got to get used to that. I know you were 2 in college, so is there something about a single digit that you just wanted to have? I know that's kind of the in vogue thing these days. You wanted to get a single digit, or what?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, the single digit, like I said, I was number 2 in college, so I just always liked the single digit. But I'm also a huge Kobe Bryant fan.
Okay.
So that was part of it. Once I saw that 8 was open, it was like
Josh is a big Kobe guy too, isn't he?
Yeah. So I needed to.
All right. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Give us a little synopsis of the day one. What were you expecting? What happened? And just give us a little summary of the day.
Yeah, it was a good day. You know, all red zone work. You know, we had some pass breakups. I think Christian Benford had a great day.
Oh my God, best guy on the field, I thought today.
I think he had 4 or 5 pass breakups. You know, we had a good day on defense. I feel like you know, was able to knock the rust off a little bit. There's so much happening in the red zone. It happens so fast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of man stuff that we're trying to get done. And then also a lot of checks that, you know, we need to make based on situation, formation, that type of stuff. So to be able to do that, come out here on the first day and execute at a pretty high level, it was a good start.
Yeah. Christian, yourself, Greg Rousseau, you know, you guys all got new contracts, well deserved, obviously. But what does that do? Do you let it enter your mindset at all? Like, hey, the team has shown they believe in me. They want me for the long-term future success of this franchise. I'm just wondering, how does that sit with you as you now take the field for the first time with what is going to amount to generational wealth for you, man? You know?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think, you know, for me, my mindset towards it was that they wanted me here. And I expressed to them I wanted to be here, and we were able to get something done. And, you know, I couldn't be more thankful. Yeah. You know, it's a long process and a lot of work that goes into it. And, you know, for that to happen was, you know, a huge experience for me and my family. Like I said, man, I'm just thankful and grateful, and I want to show my appreciation by how I come out and represent the Bills every day.
Proving them right.
Exactly.
On the field.
How I go to work, how, you know, how I interact with the teammates, and how, you know, like I said, they believed in me, and now I want to give it back to them. So I'm excited. It's fun to come out here and go to work every day with these guys. So.
From last year to this, when you guys break down into offensive team meeting and defensive team meetings, a lot of new faces in your room. How's that transition going?
It's been good. I feel like we got a lot of new guys up front, a lot of guys that we're getting on board and just getting with, you know, how we do things. So it's been fun. You know, like we say every year, it's a new team. It's a new season every single year. So to be able to meet these guys and hang out with them while we're here 24/7, you know, just understanding who we are, who they are, and, you know, building that relationship. So, you know, once you get to, you know, points in the season that are tough, you have the relationship to fall back on, and, you know, you can really build on that.
I know it's day one, and everything is subject to change in terms of, you know, position battles and things like that. Cole is rolling with you guys here at the start of camp. It's a new guy to communicate with on the back end. I know he played 4 games with you guys last year, but how do you make sure that when it's a new person, you know, the communication is on point? Because I guess there are some nuances to how guys communicate a little bit differently out there. So how do you make sure as a defensive captain we're all on the same page here with a new voice in the 11?
Yeah, I think the main thing is time on task, and, you know, that's a huge part of why we're here, why we do training camp, how we do it. The reps that we get together, the walkthroughs that we get together, just the amount of time that we spend together. You know, me, Cole, T-Rap, a bunch of guys, Matt, Greg, all of us were here throughout the summer. So working out together, getting on the field together when it's just us, talking through things, and building that, like I said earlier, building the relationship and the bond. That's what, you know, really, you know, elevates you to the next level. It's not just a surface level connection. It's a deeper connection than that. And I think that's what makes Buffalo, you know, special. And part of the reason why we've had success is because we really care about one another. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help Cole. And I know Cole is doing everything that he needs to do to be ready to, you know, help us when we need it. So it's that relationship, that bond, that time that really, you know, accelerates that process.
Yeah. What's different about Bobby Babich this year? Now, his second year, he's got a lap. Yeah, he's been around the block once, right? What's different about it?
I think just his confidence in himself. You know, he's always been a confident guy, but even today, I think, you know, you can just feel, his confidence, his energy, his excitement. Sitting in his meeting last night where he's got the whole defense up and just rallying the guys and getting guys' mindsets in the right way, in the right place to come out here and dominate. I think that's the key point that he's been doing. He's a great coach. He's a great person. I had him as my linebackers coach for a few years. So, me and Bobby have a special relationship. I have him in my head every day.
Whether you want it or not.
His voice when he's not around.
His voice is in my head 24/7. So, I'm excited for him.
I'm curious about this because you're trying to get ready, obviously, for regular season football and anything that opposing offenses can throw at you. And Joe Brady, with all this day one, there is pre-snap motion all over the place.
Yep.
All of that motion pre-snap, that's valuable for you guys, right? Because it forces you to communicate maybe even more than you would on maybe when you're facing a more static offense, for example. How like the Jets last year. Rodgers doesn't like motion. He doesn't do any motion. It's an easier day. All this motion, how much does that really kind of help you guys get schooled up and ready for week one?
Yeah, for sure. It ramps up our communication like you hit on. You have to have all 11 guys on the same page, and you have to anticipate every motion, every shift, and, these guys do it more than almost anybody in the league.
Yeah.
So having the opportunity for us to come out here and work against that, you're seeing one of the best offenses in the league every day. Obviously, we know the best player every day. So it's been fun, man. It's a challenge to come out here and compete with them every day, but it's fun. And like you said, it's sharpening us like we're trying to sharpen them.
What has been Sean McDermott's overarching message to the entire team when he gets in? Like every year's different, every team's different, and he seems to be one of those guys that keeps it kind of fresh.
For sure.
What's his message?
Yeah, I think we had a meeting last night and then another meeting this morning, and he wants us to be just a nasty, physical, aggressive defense, and then overall as a team, he just wants us to do things the right way, do things how we're supposed to do it, and follow our process. We know what we have to do. We know the work that it takes, the amount of effort and energy and the load that it is. And as long as we're doing that every single day, we can live with the result.
Right.
We're focused on every single day coming in, doing our job, focused on the process and what we need to do to get better, and the result will take care of itself.
Last one for me. Familiar faces back on the defensive side of the ball. Trey White doesn't need any introduction, but it's Dane Jackson also. What's it like when you get guys back in the fold? It's not the first time it happened. We know Jordan Phillips has come back a couple of times, actually.
Yep.
So you've seen it happen before, but, Trey was a cornerstone player for this organization. And now to see him back, and now to see him kind of moving the way we all remember him.
For sure.
Those two major injuries, such a struggle. Are you seeing him getting back to, like, the kind of movement and change of direction skills that we're accustomed to seeing from him?
Yeah, for sure, man. Even through OTAs, I think you saw, Trey White, like, him be himself. And to just have him as a person be here, he was one of the first guys that I talked to when I got here.
Yeah.
Kind of took me under his wing a little bit. We played under Coach Aranda. He was the defense coordinator at LSU, and then my head coach at Baylor.
Okay.
So, we had a connection there, and
Gotcha.
he's been one of my favorite people here, man. So to have him back, it's been awesome. And like I said, he's made plays. He's done it already. He's shown who he is and what he can do. So it's great to have him back.
Last one for me. So you come back and you've got the reigning MVP on your squad, and once again, expectations for a year that where this is the year maybe you don't lose your last game, right? You just keep going, right?
Sir.
How do you? What's in the locker room, the vibe? You guys come back. What's your message to each other? How do you feel about going forward in a season where once again your expectations in the room are, let's go?
Yeah. No, we know what kind of team we're gonna try to be. Like I said earlier, the day-by-day process of the work that we have to put in, we know we're going to be, a competitive team, a good team. It's the little details within what we're doing that'll take us to that next step, and that's what we're here for, to spend as much time around each other, to take as many reps as possible with each other, where there's nothing else that matters right now than getting it right and doing it the right way. We know who we can be, what we can do, but we gotta go day by day and take it for that, and let the result fall where it may.
Yep. Thanks for the time as always. We appreciate it. Stay hydrated. It's going to be a warm one
Yep.
tomorrow.
For
All right.
sure, for
Force
sure.
those fluids and stay healthy.
Yes,
all right.
sir. Appreciate you guys.
That's Terrel Bernard joining us here on One Bills Live.